Why is it that Jehovah's Witnesses, they normalize hate? Now, a while ago, when I started making videos, I think I made a video called Jehovah's Witnesses, the unloving organization, right? Or something around those realms. How the Jehovah's Witnesses are not loving people, right? But this goes beyond not just loving someone. I really, truly believe that the Jehovah's Witness cult, they have a hatred about themselves, right? They have a hate towards people, not just disliking people or being neutral, but pure hate. Now, they believe that the end of the world is going to happen any day now. Armageddon is going to come any day now, right? They are waiting for billions of people to be slaughtered. That's hate. That's hate. Now, even when I was in the organization, right? Well, I was going to say the truth. Whew. But even when I was in the organization, right? I never believed that a loving God would kill billions of people. That's hate. That's hate. And I said to myself, why would a loving God even make these people in the first place? If God has the power to foresee things, right? He can foresee the future. Why would he have a planet full of billions of people just to slaughter them later on? That makes no sense. And that would be a truly hateful thing for God to do, right? So even when I was a devout witness, I always thought that God would save the vast majority, because I feel like the vast majority of people on this earth, they have good hearts. Yes, we're imperfect. We all make mistakes, but the majority of people, they want to be loved. They give love to people. They work hard. They mind their business. They want to have fun on the weekends and so forth, right? But just because they don't want to be a part of, just because humans don't want to serve God, right? Or Jehovah, he needs to kill them by the billions? I never really, I couldn't fully comprehend that, right? Even as a devout witness, I couldn't comprehend that. But I met witnesses, right? Right before I came out as full-blown apostate, I spoke to an older sister that was in my congregation back home in New York. And she knew that I was having doubts. This is around the time when I was telling my family, I got reinstated. I told my family, guys, I'm not going to be a part of this religion. I did my research, and I'm going to disassociate soon. So this older sister, my mom's good friend, best friend, calls me. She said, hey, I heard that you're having doubts. What's going on? You want to leave the organization? You just got reinstated. Why you want to leave? I said to her, I said, do you honestly believe that a loving God will kill billions of people? Her response was, right? Well, he killed them back in the day of Noah. He slaughtered them back then. He's going to do it again. Like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. No empathy, no remorse for these people. That's hate. That's hate. So you guys know my story. But when I officially came out and told my family, guys, I'm done. I did my research. I'm disassociating. My aunt and my mom said, if you disassociate, you know we can no longer talk to you. Just like that, cold turkey. And when I did come out full-blown apostate, of course, everyone cut me off like that, right? But for those of you that are watching this video, and if you're curious to ask, as there's so many ex-JWs out there and ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that have their own content online on YouTube, right? This is why. Because we were born in a cult that normalizes hate. If I were to die tomorrow, my family would not have a funeral for me. I don't even think they would cry or even care, to be honest. All because I denounced my former faith. Or because I denounced the religion. I told them, guys, I told my family, I'm not part of this anymore. I'm done. Oh, well, if you're done with the religion, then we're done with you. How is that loving? This is an organization. When I say it condones hate, parents could cut kids off, kids could cut parents off. There's situations where grandparents haven't even seen their grandkids by choice. By choice. Because their child is no longer a Jehovah's Witness. So they say, oh, if you don't want to be part of this religion, we will not speak to you or our grandkids. So now the grandkids have to suffer because their parents don't want to be a part of this religion anymore. So when Jehovah's Witnesses, when they go knocking on people's doors, right, they try to convert people. They try to bring people into their cult. They don't tell people up front what this cult is really about. They don't tell these people, hey, listen, we believe in shunning. We believe that if you do something that's immoral, if you commit an immoral, gross sin, you will be shunned. And if you ever leave this religion, after you're baptized, if you ever disassociate and leave, we will cut all ties with you. Jehovah's Witnesses don't say this when they try to bring people inside their cult. Because if they said this from the get-go, people would be like, oh, this really is a cult. I want nothing to do with this. But they fake love bomb you. Oh, speaking of which, right? So one of my coworkers, he's an ex-Mormon. He's also shunned by his family because he left their religion. And his wife, just a few days ago, his wife is at home minding her business. She gets a knock on her door. And who is it? Of course, the Jehovah's Witnesses. They try to sweet talk her, try to do the whole love bomb. They, oh, you should come to one of our meetings. They see that she's pregnant. She's about to give birth next month. So they're telling her about this paradise earth, and they left a few tracks. So they took down her number, right? And when my coworker got home, his wife said, hey, baby, these friendly people came to our door. They left this magazine for us to read. They took down our names and numbers, and they want us to go to their meetings. And he said, no. He said, listen, I have a coworker. He's talking about me. He said, I have a coworker who's a former Jehovah's Witness, and these people, they are unloving people. They're not kind. They will shun you. He said they love bomb you. Because I told him everything. I told him how Jehovah's Witnesses operate. And he knows I'm an activist. He's not an ex-Mormon activist, but he's an ex-Mormon, and he's done with all religion, just like I am, right? So they almost got his wife because she was so enticed. She said, oh, these people are so friendly. They came to the door. They're so nice. They took down our numbers and they want us to go to their meetings, right? So she was about to get sucked in, and he had to show her a few things. He said, listen, my coworker, he left. His family has cut him off, and no, they're not loving people. That's all a front. They're just trying to love bomb you, right? But when you think about it, when Jehovah's Witnesses, when they go knocking on people's doors, right? They try to bring people in. Let's say someone was extremely loving, caring. They had love for everybody, right? Like I know a few hippies, and I'm not generalizing this, but the hippies that I know, right? They are really bubbly, loving, down to earth, caring people. Like they truly love everybody. They truly love everybody, right? And I love that about them. They don't judge. They accept people for who they are. They try to see the good in everyone, right? They will befriend and talk and associate with everyone they meet, right? Like I said, I'm not generalizing this. This is just the hippies that I know, right? And I love that about them because that's how the world should be. People should be loving everyone equally. Respect people. If they're atheists or if they're Buddhists, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, whatever, respect that, right? Still love them. Still show love to everyone you meet, right? I love the hippie friends that I have. I love the way that they think, right? And I try to mimic their thinking because for so long, growing up as a witness, you're only taught to love your own people, your own kind. The hell with everybody else, right? Even though the second commandment is to love thy neighbor as yourself. It doesn't say love only Jehovah's Witnesses as yourself. It says to love thy neighbor, which is everyone on this planet, right? But anywho, when Jehovah's Witnesses knock on your door, And let's say that they encountered a hippie who loved everyone, who saw the good in people. They fed the homeless. They gave money to homeless people, right? Who, like I said, they love a hippie that loved everyone. A Jehovah's Witness knocked on their door, right? And then they try to convert them. Now, what happens when you get converted as a witness? You're now taught to only associate with certain people, only other Jehovah's Witnesses. So in essence, when Jehovah's Witnesses are trying to convert people inside that religion, they're telling these people, don't love everyone. Don't do that. Because we don't do that. We don't love everyone. We don't help people. We don't give money to the homeless. We don't do charities, nothing like that. We only care about our own people. So if you love everyone, stop doing that shit. Stop loving people. And in essence, that's what they're saying by their actions. Because they're trying to convert people who have love for everybody. And I've seen it for my own, I've seen this personally, right? In my own eyes, I've seen this personally. I experienced this. I had a friend, I mentioned this a long time ago, right? In one of my videos. But I had a friend in Australia. I knew the sister before, during, and after she got baptized. Before she got baptized, she was one of the most friendliest, kindest people I've met in my life. Just bubbly, just had pure love for people, right? The minute she got baptized, that was pre-baptism. Now she's baptized, right? I was there at her baptism when she got baptized. So now she's baptized. And I noticed she started taking the organization more seriously. She stopped associating with people who weren't witnesses. And she only associated with Jehovah's Witnesses, right? And then the next year or two later, she started giving parts on the convention and assemblies. She had parts. She became a pioneer, and she got completely lost in the sauce. Our friendship, of course, came to a ruin. Because I was inactive. I became inactive. Well, I was inactive when I met her, actually. It was a weird situation. But anyway, I was inactive, and she was diving more into the organization. And 2 years after her baptism, I didn't even recognize her. I didn't even recognize her. Now, I remember her coming to America, right? Wanting, what happened? Yeah, my brother got married. This is several years ago. When my brother got married, she came to his wedding. And my cousin was there, right? My family was there. And I remember I wanted to go out afterwards or do something with, hang out with my cousins, because I hardly see my blood family, right? So I wanted to hang out with my cousins, and this Australian sister is in town, right? So I said, hey, come out with us. And she was like, oh, I can't hang out with you. She said, your cousin, they're not in the organization. They're not baptized. They don't even have a desire to be a witness. I said, so what? They're really good people. They have better hearts than witnesses. Well, how is that relevant? Just because they're not witnesses, you're not going to associate with my family? And they're really, really good-hearted people. But see, that's what this organization does. To me, that's hate. When you could despise or look down or belittle somebody just because they're not part of your religion, you're not going to even give that person a time of day just because they're not part of your religion. This is a hatred. It's a hate culture. The Jehovah's Witnesses have a hate. They have pure hate for anyone who's not part of their religion. Like I said in the beginning, when you're waiting for Armageddon to come, so God can destroy billions of people, you're waiting for that day. They're excited with no remorse. No remorse. When I was the fellowship, last year I was the fellowship, right? Year and a half ago. This elderly sister made a comment I will never forget. And thank God I was awake, because if I wasn't, her comment would have woke me up, right? But this elderly sister said, you know what? When Armageddon comes, the Great Tribulation and Armageddon comes, We're going to walk over so many dead bodies. We're going to see women. We're going to see little kids dead in the streets. But we shouldn't feel bad about it. We shouldn't feel bad about them. When we see all those bodies, all those men, women, and children out in the streets, we shouldn't feel bad because they had their chance. They had their opportunity to come to Jehovah. She said that like it was nothing. And I was like, wow, these people really are waiting for billions to be destroyed. Billions with no remorse. They have no love for anyone outside of their cult. And you know what's sad? This is supposed to be a loving organization, right? Check this out. Check it out. If it's so loving, right? Especially the higher ups. What do the higher ups do for their members? There are no food banks. There's no charity. There's nothing that the higher ups, the governing body leaders, do for their members. And yet you have Satan's system. I believe it's the Catholics, right? They have food banks. Yeah, it's the Catholics. But they have food banks. They help people. They have charity. They assist people in need. And that's Satan's system. That's Satan's system. So if Satan's system helps people, not just their people, but they will help anybody and everybody in need. Food banks, they help people with clothing, right? They help people all over the world. And that's Satan's system, helping people. But yet, the one and true religion, supposedly the one and true religion, right? They don't do jack shit for their members. So what does that say for the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses? If Satan's system provides for people and actually cares for people, what does that say about the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses if Satan is helping people and God's Jehovah's Witnesses don't help people? What does that say? This organization, they have learned to normalize hate. Hate is like love to them. The way that normal people view love, that's how Jehovah's Witnesses view hate. It's normal. It's normal. A parent could throw their kid out in the streets like it's nothing. A Jehovah's Witness parent, that is. Oh, you don't want to serve Jehovah anymore? You don't want to be a part of this religion? Pack your shit and get out. Move. You're going. And that parent could cut off all empathy and sympathy for that kid. You know how many stories I heard where parents threw their kids out at the age of 15, 16, 17, 18? These kids, these teenagers had nowhere to go. A lot of them ended up on drugs. And some of them, sad to say, they took their lives. All because of the lack of love from their parents. A parent could disown their own child for 9 men that aren't even inspired by God. Make that make sense. This organization is, whew, I can't even put it in words sometimes. But the hate that us ex-members have to, the hate that we receive from our JW family and friends, well, friends, it's beyond me. Like I said, if I were to die tomorrow, my own mother, my 2 brothers would not shed a tear. All because I told them to do the research, and I told them that this is not what you think it is. This organization is not what you think it is. And videos like this video, people need to see. People who don't know about the cults or Jehovah's Witnesses, people need to see videos like this. Because people are still joining this cult, little by little. People in poverty, that is. Thank God there's plenty of people leaving, but there are people still joining little by little. And before they join that cult, it is time for them to be schooled. It's time for them to know what really happens. I'll see you guys on the next video.